Hey guys, SeanB, and today I want to talk about the 6-star legendary Runecraft event because it is personally my favorite event of the year pretty much since the first event that came a couple years ago. And it's also one of the best event in Summoner's War because you can get exactly what you want in stats and can also +6 them. So this is where you can potentially get a 18 speed rune or 24 HP. And after that, when you receive the rune, you can potentially get a quad speed or just a very super efficient rune of your liking. Before I go into the details about what rune you should get, please remember to never claim your rune early unless you get the perfect rune because you are so lucky. Never claim your rune early. One of these, I can't remember exactly which one. I think it was this one. I claimed the rune early and I had to re-app the rune because I felt so pissed that I couldn't get the attack rune that I needed. So I re-app it a couple times and I had to stop because I wasted too many re-apps in the rune. It was this rune right here. I claimed it too early before I get the perfect stat. And I asked them to revert my account back to before the rune event. I can accept loss of scroll or whatever nonsense that I had used in the period after I received the rune, but they wouldn't do it. So if you accidentally receive the rune early, there's no way of going back. So remember, never claim your rune early. This could have been a quad speed attack rune. So what kind of rune should you get? You should aim for an HP in slot 6 or 4 because in this 2 slot, you have crit damage and crit rate or accuracy and resistance. So getting a main slot that has HP or attack is very, very important. So this is a rune that I got from an event a couple years ago. It has speed, defense, attack, and accuracy. Unfortunately, I couldn't roll any more into speed, but I got 2 roll into accuracy. And this is one of my most used rune in RTA and Guild War in many parts of the game because it is such a good rune. There are many units like Carnal or Vigor or the Vagabonds or any support unit in general would love to have HP and accuracy substat. And because the meta is all about additional damage now, because they do so much damage without the need to rune for damage. Like Carnal or Vigor can do very, very good damage without the need to go for like a crit damage build. So HP in the main slot become very, very valuable because you can both have good damage and be tanky at the same time. So personally, I would look at your inventory to see if you have any good HP rune in the main slot for Vial or for Will or even for Despair, but I think Despair is a bit more advanced for PvP player. But in general, you put Vial runes on pretty much any unit and it can be okay. The most used rune will probably be Vial or Will, so I think you can never really go wrong with an HP slot 6 or Vial or Will runes. I think I'm at a point where I collect too many Will and Vial. That Vial Will is pretty much better than the Vial Broken set because the Will rune that I keep collecting are packed with so many stats. Another option that can be very specific to a certain type player will be crit rate slot 4. There are some units like Gianna or Sierra or Juno, they really need a good crit rate slot 6. And this is the perfect opportunity to get that one specific rune that you need, has crit rate main stat with accuracy, HP, attack 40 substat for your Oracle. And then there's also another type of player. The player that like to play control, the player that like to run more Changpeng, Jogan, Oliver, the type that need accuracy slot 6. This can be a very, very good rune as well. I think this was an event rune too, because this will open a lot of opportunity for you to run that one particular unit on this one particular speed, HP, or speed attack accuracy build. And this will allow you to go for that Changpeng, that Oliver, that Jogan, that Moore, that Charlotte, that Savannah, even Savannah. That player will need this very particular rune to build that particular team. Before that rune event happened, this was my best accuracy rune and I was struggling to build that high accuracy team. So if you're that kind of player, you don't really care about HP because the enemy is not moving anyway, what's the point of having HP? You go for accuracy slot 6. It is very important to run your debuff team with good accuracy. So this is also that perfect event for this one particular rune. But personally, I have a problem. I've been going for HP always fucking HP. I need more attack rune. My attack rune is absolutely shit. There's no Vial or Will that's a swift rune. There's no Vial or Will in the first almost 10 runes. And this one is an ancient rune. And it's not even that fast. And it's not fast at all. So my lack of attack rune is a pain. Look at this. My best Vial attack rune is a freaking blue rune. It is so blue. I thought I should call it Monday Sturdy rune or something like that. Haha, very funny, Sean. But I need attack rune so bad. So I might be going for an attack rune. And with additional damage, you don't have to build crit damage anymore. Attack rune can be very, very valuable. And I desperately need more attack rune. What about crit damage? In the past, this was an event rune. It was a crit damage wheel rune. It was a very, very good rune at the time. But recently, I found myself not using crit damage or find it really hard to use crit damage in general. Because when you run crit damage, you need to run high crit rate substat in auto runes. And that will reduce your overall stat in HP, attack, and defense. Which means the value of additional damage will decrease as well on that particular unit. And there are so many units nowadays that can just do a lot of damage with additional damage. So I find myself using crit damage build less and less and less. There's also a good argument for slot 2 speed with high roll into crit rate or accuracy. Because when you rune a unit with high speed, you look for speed in every single rune possible. What is the main common problem with this build? Everything go into speed, which means you don't have a lot of stat in the other department. You cannot have a lot of HP, attack, defense, or crit rate or accuracy because every roll that you had to roll into speed. So a good slot 2 will make up for the lack of other stat in the other runes. Usually, for damage dealer, you will need crit rate. For a debuff unit, you need accuracy. For support in general, you need high HP, defense, and attack. So a good slot 2 can go a long way as well. And an efficient rune slot 2 can never really go wrong, even if you don't get lucky. To get a quad speed in slot 6 or 4, it requires you to have luck after you have received the rune. It is not easy to get a quad speed rune, but it is much easier to get an efficient slot 2, okay? Because if you have HP, attack, defense, and crit rate, you double roll into crit rate. You can quad roll, triple roll into crit rate, and it's still going to be a good rune. It can double roll into something else, and it's still going to be a good rune. If you double roll into HP, the next double roll can go into something else and it's still gonna be okay. So a slot 2 speed can never really go wrong unless you roll 4%, the minimum roll when you receive the rune, and you roll the rune to plus 12 to plus 15, you get double 4%. That's when it's gonna be sad. But hey, it can go double 4% in some other rune as well. In a slot 2, it can never really go that badly. A slot 2 is for those who don't want to gamble, who really want just a good decent rune from the event and you don't have to cry about it after that. Because let's say you have a lot of 30 speed rune, 25 speed rune, an 18 speed rune will not be an upgrade to you. It'll be mediocre. It'll be okay. Like let's say this kind of rune, right? I have 17 here. I have the other 2 roll into the other 2 stat. It'll be okay. It will not be an upgrade to anything, but an efficient slot 2 is always usable. What am I personally going for in the event? I'm really lacking in the slot 4 HP Vial department because what I've been chasing for in the past has always been crit damage, a lot of crit damage stuff. So I really need a good slot 4 HP. I have 2 right now that are decent, but I really need another one so I can build more unit on Vial with slot 4 HP build. The other rune I might be going for will be a Swift rune. My slot 6 is not the best. The best I have is 25 speed, and that hinder a lot of Swift unit I have. The slot 4, I have 228 speed rune, so my slot 4 is okay. My next best is gonna be a 5-star rune actually with 26 speed because I have 2 here already. I need to have something that's like 28, maybe 30 in this slot. And this is the biggest chance for me to get anything higher than this is from this event, because the next 2 row after you get 18 speed in the rune in the event is much easier than getting a quad speed naturally. Getting quad speed is so rare in this game that this event gives you such a good opportunity to get a quad speed roll, and it will elevate a lot of rune build that you have, or it may not do anything to you at all, because to a casual player, getting a quad speed It's alright, I guess. Who give a shit anyway? I just want to summon more scroll, right? So to me, this is one of the most amazing events, and I hope you guys will make good use of it. And that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the comment section, because I think a lot of people are going to be commenting down what kind of rune they should get. I'll try my best to reply to you, but it's going to be tough because every account is different. Everyone needs is different. But hey, leave a comment down below. People will be helping each other out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.